I went through a dark night of the soul, and a dark night of the soul is basically when there's an absence of faith and there's an absence of God, there's an absence of direction, and your personal power is just gone. You're completely in the dark about everything, and it's an extremely scary emotional experience. Like, I was crying every day, and I just felt hopeless and sad and like suicidal and just like heartbroken and so confused about life. And I didn't think I would get through it, and I got through it. Like, when you're going through a dark night of the soul, you just feel like it's very excruciating. Like, internally you're just being ripped apart and you just don't understand what life is anymore. And when you get through it, it's like such a relief. It's like you understand now why you had to go through that difficult time. It helps you realize that difficulties will happen, but they're all just temporary. I'm always preaching to people who are like struggling right now, because like when you're going through a struggle, you can feel so alone. Like, people do not understand. People don't understand you. People don't want to be around your negative energy and stuff like that. And like, life will sometimes bring you through phases where you just feel at a low, and like you feel like a burden on everybody because you're just feeling negative and you don't want to put that on anyone else. And I just want people to understand that it's okay. It's okay. And it happens in life. Like, okay, speaking to the young people, I wanted to, this was on my heart today too. Like, I wanted to give advice to like young people who are like 20 and under, like 20 and under. I'm only 24, so I don't know that much about life, but I feel like I could give some advice. And my advice would be that, like, you're gonna go through hardship, but like, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of it. It's temporary. I promise you it's temporary. Trust me, I have been through so much sorrow in my life. And not to sound negative and stuff like that, but like, that's just the reality. Like, there were times when I literally was just in my bedroom alone, crying in my pillow, just asking God, why am I experiencing so much pain in my life? Like, what have I done to deserve this? And you know, I got through it. I overcame it. Like, and you know, I feel encouraged about the fact that we have the ability to overcome difficulties, and I feel like that's a big portion of what life is about. It's like, how much can you overcome? Because when you overcome difficulties and pains and sorrows and things like that, you develop into something new. It's like a flower growing out of the concrete. One thing that I've been doing that has been very difficult is like embracing my negative feelings. And the way that, and I know that sounds crazy, but the way that I embrace my negative feelings is just by allowing myself to just feel it. Like, just allowing myself to just feel it. Like, the other day I was having this weird feeling that I didn't like, and I was just like, it's so whack that I feel this way, but feeling this way is a part of being human. And I cried and I made a video art piece about it, because and that pain and that emotion and that rawness of being human allowed me to have the opportunity to create art. So I think that also having an outlet to channel your feelings, especially a creative outlet, is like really helpful. I encourage that. for sure. And yeah, that's what I love about art, and the fact that there's little to no boundaries. Like, I was able to just embrace my negative feelings by turning it into creativity. I wanted to give, if I were to give some advice to young people, I would say that and this is just based on my personal experience. Like, I'm no expert on life, and really no one is. Like, but I'd say the more you grow older, the more you realize how much you don't know about life, and about life, about yourself, about everything. Like, when I was younger, there were some points in my younger years where I really thought I knew everything, and I thought I had it figured out, and then I just go through phases where everything I knew was just stripped away from me, and I had to really humble myself and realize that I'm no expert on this life thing. I'm just here for the journey and the experience. And I feel like as life goes on and as you experience life, you learn more and you realize more. And like, just be patient with yourself and give it time. Like, give yourself time, give yourself grace, give yourself the gentleness that you deserve. Like, I feel like it's okay to be hard on yourself sometimes when you have a goal or if you really need to improve yourself. But if you're going through a hard time, like, just like, people who go through difficulties and struggles are like really deep in my heart, because it's like, I've been through that. I've had to deal with a lot of difficult feelings by myself. A lot of the times, hardship, your difficulties, your struggles are teaching you something. And it's not like it's teaching you a well-deserved lesson because you did something wrong. It's like, it's teaching you something that will help you, that could help you inspire someone else. It's teaching you your strength. It's teaching you your resilience. It's teaching you your ability to overcome hardship so that you can help someone else overcome that same hardship or a similar hardship. Because empathy comes from you having actually experienced the difficulty to be able to relate to someone else and be able to help them. The beautiful thing is, if I'm able to relate and have empathy and understand, sometimes you go through a struggle because your ability to get through that struggle will be helpful and meaningful to the collective consciousness. It's like, you've gone through an experience, you know what that's like. You can help someone else who's gone through that same experience, who also knows what that's like, but feels alone. And it's all about awareness. Life is not a walk in the park. Life is not this beautiful, magical, like, there's a lot of harsh realities that comes with life. There's a lot of discomfort that comes with life. And I think that that's part of the reason why it's temporary, because we're not supposed to get comfortable and this is not meant to be an everlasting thing. Like, you run your course, you do what you have to do for the time that you're here, and then your time is up. You've learned what you needed to learn in your lifetime, and then you die. It's a temporary experience. There's so much about it that's negative and unpleasant, and just imagine if that was everlasting. That wouldn't really be be a good thing. To everyone watching my channel, I just want you to just understand that you serve a very great purpose in this world. Like, I never really think about this at all until I'm on camera talking to the camera, but it's like being a part of the most intelligent known species on the planet, and I keep saying this in videos, being this is a big responsibility. It's a big deal, and there's a lot that comes with it. And I think it's just important to give yourself grace and give yourself love and just understand that you have a pretty big responsibility being a human being. And especially since no one has it figured out, especially since this existence has inevitable struggle and pain, especially since our leaders are not necessarily our leaders, like politicians and stuff like that, do not necessarily have the people's best interest in heart like they should. I feel like sometimes life can feel a little pointless and a little hopeless and stuff like that. I do believe that there's meaning behind the adversity.